Okay, so now we will do some chanting to start the class as per usual. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami, Dutiyampi Buddham saranam gacchami, Dutiyampi Dhammam saranam gacchami, Dutiyampi Sangham saranam gacchami, Dutiyampi Buddham saranam gacchami, Dutiyampi Dhammam saranam gacchami, Tadayambi Sangham saranam gacchami. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. I take refuge until I'm enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the 6 paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the 6 paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the 6 paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. May they be free from suffering and its causes. May they never be parted from the happiness beyond suffering. May they abide in equanimity, free of bias, attachment to the near, and aversion from the far. I shall cause this great compassionate Buddha, please inspire me to be able to do so. Reverently I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind, and present clouds of every types of offerings, actual and mentally transformed. I confess all of my negative actions accumulated since beginningless time, and rejoice in all the virtues of all holy and ordinary beings. Please remain until cyclic existence ends, and turn the wheel of Dharma for all sentient beings. I dedicate the virtues of myself and others to the great enlightenment. However innumerable all sentient beings are, I vow to save them all. However inexhaustible my delusions are, I vow to extinguish them all. However immeasurable the Dharma teachings are, I vow to master them all. However endless the Buddhist way is, I vow to follow it completely. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Tayatam Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Buddhiso. Tayatam Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Buddhiso. Tayatam Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Buddhiso. So now get yourself comfortable for some meditation practice. Initially, we will release the tension in the body. You realize that all phenomena are impermanent, all mental phenomena as well as physical phenomena, constantly changing. They are also unsatisfactory. Different intensities, different levels of suffering, and so on. There's no self, or emptiness of self. There's no self to be found in the whole or in the constituents that make up the whole. And nirvana is freedom from all of this. Total liberation. So bring your mind inside your body now and release the tension. As you focus on different parts of the body, release whatever tension you may have there. Working our way from the bottom to the top. So release whatever tension you may have around your feet. Top of the feet. bottom of the feet, all around your toes, balls, arches, heels. Around your ankles and Achilles tendons. And your lower legs, the calf muscles, the shins, around those areas. And all around your knees. And upper legs, the hamstrings, quad muscles, the front and the back and the sides of your legs. And up to your midsection. Excuse me. Around your hips and groin, glutes. Lower stomach and sides, lower back. Further up your stomach, further up your sides, and to the middle of your back. Around your chest area, underneath your arms and your upper back. And between your shoulder blades and spine on either side, you have the rhomboid muscles. The outside, you have the lateral muscles released from them. And between the neck and shoulders, you have the upper trap muscles, so release from them. And also your shoulders, biceps and triceps, around your elbows and forearm, wrists and hands, fingers and thumbs. Now bring your focus up to your neck to release whatever tension you may have in your neck, to the front of the neck, sides, and the back of the neck. In the back of the head, and sides of the head, and your ears and temples, and from all around your face, around your cheekbones, cheeks. Make sure you're not clenching your jaw, your chin and mouth, both inside and outside, your nose and sinuses, eye sockets and eyes. And make sure you're not frowning. So release whatever tension you may have from your forehead and from the crown of your head. Now briefly scan your body from the bottom to the top again to see if there's any more tension that you missed. And if there is, release it. And now bring your focus to the tip of your nose initially and follow the feeling of the breath as you breathe in your nose, past your throat, past the chest area, into your lungs. As the lungs fill with the air, they expand, therefore the stomach rises a bit. When you breathe out from the lungs, they compress, the stomach drops a little, and the air leaves the same way it came in, except now it's warmer on your throat as it passes your throat, whereas when you breathe in, it's quite cool. So breathing in and breathing out. You can also, if you like, count the breaths to help you keep focused on the breath. From 1 up to 10, not past 10 though, because we want the breath to remain the focus. And if you get distracted on the way towards 10, go back to 1 at that time. So as we practice this meditation, we do so with joy, with enthusiasm. If ever you find it to be a pain in the butt, let go of that feeling. It's just a habit. All you have to do now is focus on your breath. If any thoughts arise, or mental agitation arises, mental excitement and so on, don't cling to it or grasp at it. Also, don't try to force it away or deny it. But simply let it go naturally as you replace your mind back onto your breath. And if you become mentally dull, then wake up your mind a bit by refocusing on your breath more brightly. Breathing in, breathing out. Not too tight, not too loose, not too much, not too little. Don't try too hard or too little. So let's practice like this in silence for a little bit. And I feel very pleased with yourself for making the effort to engage in this practice, to develop a clear mind, stable mind, flexible. To work our way to one-pointed concentration, to samadhi. And let's fill ourselves with universal loving kindness. Utilizing the visualization technique of filling our whole being with white light, which represents the universal loving kindness. And it's universal, means it's unlimited, can be developed beyond limit. It's immeasurable, can be developed beyond measure, and bring benefit to innumerable sentient beings. So really have the feeling of loving kindness as you utilize this visualization technique to fill your whole being with friendliness, respect, and gratitude, and so on. Fill yourself with so much loving kindness that it now overflows and radiates outwards, initially to your loved ones, family, and friends, filling them with the white light as well, the universal loving kindness, wishing that they have happiness and its causes, that they are free from suffering and its causes, and that they are peaceful. And now also include strangers and do likewise. And also enemies and do likewise as well. May all of these three types of people, from your own perspective, that is, may they be happy, free from suffering, and be peaceful. And really picture them in your mind, happy, free from suffering, and peaceful. So now we can extend the loving kindness out further and further distance-wise to all sentient beings now, starting around your immediate area. All the sentient beings that live on the land, even under the land, live in the waters, fly through the air, whether they're born from wombs, moisture, eggs, or transformation, or through transformation. All sentient beings, whether weak or strong, great or small, short or tall, seen or unseen, near or distant, born or to be born, may they all be happy, free from suffering, and be peaceful. Now radiate the loving kindness throughout your whole state or county. The states and counties throughout the whole world, or I should say your whole country. All of the countries throughout the world, those you're familiar with and may have an affinity towards, those you're indifferent towards, and those that you have some negative feelings about. And have your loving kindness pervade throughout all of the bodies of water, the oceans and so on, and down to the core of the earth and to the outermost atmosphere. And beyond this planet alone, throughout the whole solar system and galaxy and the universe and beyond. Your loving kindness pervades throughout infinite space. So infinite space is filled with this white light. Immeasurable, uncountable, unlimited. And then let's switch techniques to cease the visualization as it is right now. And we will do the Tonglen meditation, the giving-taking meditation. So imagine that there is innumerable, all sentient beings in front of you. Bring to mind the suffering of sentient beings. I alluded to it earlier when I mentioned that everything is impermanent, unsatisfactory, or suffering, and no self. All living beings, even if they're immensely happy sometimes, it doesn't last. So we have the suffering, ordinary suffering, the obvious suffering. Also, we have the suffering of impermanence and the all-pervasive suffering, all-pervading suffering. And we want to develop the compassion to free sentient beings from the suffering. So visualizing the sentient in front of you. When you inhale, you will take the black smoke that comes from their heart centers into your own heart center, and it melts away, freeing them from the suffering, as well as destroying your ego, melting away your ego and self-centeredness. And as you breathe out, exhale, then the white light is radiated from your heart center and enters into the heart centers of all sentient beings in front of you, giving them all of your happiness, all of your virtue, goodness, good karma, and the conditions needed to attain enlightenment or on the path to attaining enlightenment. Freeing yourself from attachment. So inhaling the black smoke, exhaling the white light. Let's do this for a little bit now. Freeing the sentient being from their suffering, giving them your happiness and virtue, freeing yourself from self-centeredness and attachment. Utilizing the inhaling, the exhaling, and the visualization. So once again, feeling very happy with ourselves. And just for a minute, contemplate what I said before. Everything is impermanent. In samsara, it's unsatisfactory. There's no self, there's emptiness of self. Which means total liberation, total ceasing of the ignorance that gives rise to attachment and therefore gives rise to suffering. And when this wisdom, first of all, the relative wisdom that realizes these three seals or three marks, and then, of course, realizing that nirvana is total freedom from these. Still right now it's concepts. But when we perfect all of the paramitas, when we totally realize the relative bodhicitta and realize the supreme wisdom to become the ultimate bodhicitta, we realize enlightenment. So now let's do the dedication prayer. Due to this merit, may I soon attain the enlightened state of the Buddha, so that I may be able to liberate all sentient beings from their suffering. May the precious bodhicitta, not yet born, arise and grow. May that born have no decline, but increase forevermore. And may the precious view of shunyata, not yet born, arise and grow. May that born have no decline, but increase forevermore. So today, as you noticed, we did long meditations again, and the different types of meditation. We didn't do the forgiveness meditation because I forgot. That's all. It's the only reason. So today I thought we'd talk about these qualities. And this will lead into beginning next week, the commentary on my article, Meditation and Its Benefits, Getting to Know Your Mind. And that'll take probably months to do. We'll see how we go. We'll just, first 2 weeks, I figured I'd introduce it to you, read it to you, and then let you know where it came from and all that sort of stuff. And that's leading into that is the reason why we're doing the meditations in this class. But also it's coming at the back end of the commentary on Master Atisha's heart advice. And, specifically talking about putting into practice what your Dharma teacher advises. So I advise you, encourage you to put these meditations, however simple they seem, however difficult they may be to practice, put them into practice, Don't try too hard and try too little, like I said before. So that's the reason why we're doing them. And when we start to actually get into this article, we'll go back to shorter meditations, okay? Maybe just we won't do the Tonglen for a while and so on, so I can have longer to talk. That's all, really. So forgiveness, since that's the one I forgot to give instruction on just then, it's important to forgive, whether this be forgiving individuals, or first of all, forgiving ourselves. If we've done something wrong, we forgive ourselves. If we have done something wrong towards another living being or groups of living beings, then we ask for forgiveness. Don't carry around the guilty feeling. Really regret it. Resolve not to engage in such actions again. Do this with the thought of the Buddha, thought of virtuous beings or being, and really engage in that repentance practice, to really uproot the negativity and the clinging to these guilty feelings or these guilty feelings. And they're not helpful at all. So we ask for forgiveness. You can visualize this or just have the feeling. And then, of course, when others have brought us harm, you forgive them. Even in the so-called relative world there, even if they're not looking for forgiveness, that's up to them. Of course, you want them to not have the negative feelings. You want them not to have the guilt. You want them to not have the ignorance or delusion that may be covering up, that they may not even know that they've done something wrong. There's quite a lot of people around like that. In fact, there's quite a lot in powerful positions. Unfortunately, that's why they behave so badly, crazy, crazy mental stuff. But you yourself need to put down, as I said, the mental baggage. So whether this be a person, groups of people, types of people that may have brought harm, continually bring harm, then you put it down, don't pick it up. Don't hang on to it. You forgive, So forgiving really helps your mind. It helps you to live in the moment more, letting go of the past, learning from the past, maybe. But the learning happens in the present, doesn't it? We can't learn in the past, can't learn in the future, not here. We learn in the present and improve, First of all, letting go, but also training yourself to improve, not engage in the negatives like that, but also not to hang on if, like I said, if it's happened to you. Okay, so forgiveness, very important practice, state of mind. It comes under all of the parameters, actually, especially the first 5, but forgiving, the generosity of giving protection from fear, forgiveness is involved in that. And obviously in the discipline, very much in patience, and the other parameters as well. That'll do, okay? So important state of mind, important to practice and give forgiveness. Then, of course, the love and kindness meditation that we engage in. Well, first of all, I mentioned the concentration, but I alluded to it a little bit before as well. So we sit here, we utilize what we have, the breath. It's always with us as we're alive. So we don't have to go looking for some sort of meditation object. We have the breath. We focus on the breath. If I can marry this with a wisdom as well, wisdom of impermanence, you could say, emptiness, and the breath coming and going doesn't stay the same for 1 second, 1 moment. We don't contemplate that when we're practicing the breath meditation, but it's something to be aware of, to bring to mind, constantly changing, constant state of flux. And the body too, the body's constantly changing. As we're breathing in, it's changing. Breathing into the lungs, they expand, air leaves them, they compress, and so on. Okay, so we're focusing on the breath. We have it here right now. It's convenient, but it's also difficult because throughout our lives, most of us have not done this. How many breaths have you had in this lifetime? Have you focused on the vast majority of them? No. So that's why focusing on the breath is very, very good to improve our concentration and challenging. A lot of people think it may be boring. Oh, but I can't think of something more exciting. It's the most important physical thing that we do. Without the breath in this physical life, in this mental life, we would have no experience, All of those enjoyable things that you may find enjoyable, they wouldn't come to be without the breath. Okay, so developing this concentration, to develop the clear mind, utilizing the forgiveness, utilizing repentance, being realistic, realizing we're not perfect yet, we can improve, clears the mind, doesn't it? And then we can strengthen the mind more. We can have courage looking in our mind to see our faults so we know what to diminish and so on. And see our good qualities without attachment. And therefore know what it is we need to improve on and continue. Okay, so loving kindness. Obviously, loving kindness is meditation is to develop loving kindness. Loving kindness from a relative point of view is the antidote for hatred and anger, along, of course, with patience and other good qualities, and eventually can be developed beyond measure, as you know. It's also closely related with the universal compassion, of which we utilize the Tibetan technique of giving and taking, or Tong Neng Gom, giving, taking meditation, to develop more and more compassion. So the compassion and the loving kindness are together. Loving kindness, like I said, direct antidote for giving up hatred and anger and the like. And then compassion, the antidote to give up cruelty and injustice and prejudice and so on, and acting out on these things. And so the loving kindness, less than 1 minute. So develop loving kindness, develop